let me know when he's available. Don't mind.
He's connected.
He is connected.
Yeah, just Bruce, can you turn your microphone and camera on, please?
Commissioner Allen, are you there? I don't hear him. Is he on? Okay.
I'll message him.
What's that?
Addressing Alan. Oh, you can hear now?
Can you hear?
and you
Okay.
can see everything?
I see his name. I just don't see him yet.
Yeah, I'm not seeing you in here either.
Well, I can't see anybody on either one of these screens. Yeah, I see the cameras inside the room here, but I can't see anybody online.
He's in.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Sounds good.
Can you ask him to turn on?
Okay, let's go ahead and get started this morning. Good morning. Welcome to the March 5th, 2024 City Planning Commission meeting. You can tell it's spring already. The trees are starting to bud. That means our surveys are going to be a little more expensive now. It's hard to see through things. Today we welcome a new commissioner, Elizabeth Betsy Lynch. She fills out our commission now. Now we're up to full speed with 8. I don't know if you want to say hello or anything like that.
Hi. Thank you.
All
Thanks
right.
for
Well,
having me.
welcome. Glad you'd be here. So we'll just need to make sure you pull the microphone up close and when
I'm
you
a little
speak,
short, so.
you can pull that sucker all the way up as close you can.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Perfect. Okay, commissioners, look forward to hearing your case today. As we understand, every project is important and unique. In addition, we want to make sure that we address all of the docketed items individually with the attention that they deserve to build consensus between the applicant, public, and city staff. We also believe we can reach consensus by being brief yet heard. Because our meeting is hybrid and recorded, we have time limits for the cases we hear, which is 5 minutes for staff presentations, 20 minutes for the applicant plus any questions by the commissioners. Then once we move to public comment, I will call on those who have joined us in person, followed by those who are joining us virtually. We do have a timer to keep our meetings on track and expect public comments to be no longer than 2 minutes when speaking as an individual, or up to 5 minutes when representing a community association or a larger group. In all instances, please limit repetitive comments. So as we get started, I ask staff to provide us a few more ground rules to make sure that we have a good meeting with minimal disruption and maximum clarity. So Anna, you remind us.
Thanks. So I'm going to describe the testimony procedure for this hybrid meeting. For those online, be aware that there are 2 categories of people participating in the meeting. We have attendees and panelists. Panelists are the commission members or any city staff who are virtual. And if you are an applicant or a citizen who is interested in participating in a case, you're going to use the raised hand function in Zoom when the chair calls that case to let city staff know that you wish to be promoted to a panelist position. When this promotion happens, you're going to accept the promotion. There's also a reminder that to raise your hand, there's a little hand icon at the bottom of your screen. If you're using the app, you're going to click that. Again, when that promotion happens, it's going to appear very temporarily that you've been disconnected from the meeting, but please don't panic. This is just Zoom changing your role from an attendee to a panelist. And then when you are using the app as well, we ask you to please change your username in Zoom to your legal name. This helps with the promotion process. If you're calling in on the phone, then you're going to, and You're going to raise your hand by hitting the star and then the number 9 key, and this indicates to city staff that you're raising your hand and you wish to provide public testimony. At the time of promotion, please turn on your camera and your microphone. This is so that the commission can, of course, see and hear you when it is time for you to talk. If you are not actively giving testimony, we ask that you please keep your microphone muted. This is going to reduce the amount of negative audio feedback while other people are speaking or giving their presentation. And this is a reminder that the chat box is only used for matters about the agenda, logistical questions about Zoom. Merits of each case cannot be discussed in the chat box. If you are in person in the city council committee chambers, please approach the microphone kind of at the corner of this room when it is time to give public testimony. If you have any exhibits to give, a presentation, photos, maps, please have those ready on a jump drive for city staff to show on the screens. And then you're going to also email those exhibits to the assigned planner after the meeting. If you are attending in person, please don't also be in the Zoom meeting when there's, again, multiple live microphones going on at the time between different devices. This can result in some unnecessary feedback and audio disruptions, and we would like to minimize that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and get started with today's meeting then, beginning with the consent agenda items, please.
We have consent item 1. This is CD-CPC 2024-00001. This is a request to approve a final plan in District MPD, which is the Master Plan Development District, to allow for a drive-through facility as part of Phase 1 of Antioch Village on about 1 acre, generally located at the northwest corner of Northeast 53rd Street and North Antioch Road. There's also C2, which is case CLD Final Plat 2023-63. This is a request to approve a final plat in District MPD, Master Plan Development District, on about 10 acres, generally located at the northwest corner of Front Street and Interstate 35, creating 1 lot for the purpose of a multi-purpose sports stadium. That concludes the consent agenda.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners regarding docket item C1 or C2? Commissioner Hill or Commissioner Islander, anything?
No.
Okay. All right, with that, let's open it up for any public testimony. If there's anybody out there that would like to speak regarding docket items C1 or C2, please come forward or raise your hand using the Zoom feature and you will be called upon.
No one has raised their hand in Zoom or approaches the microphone.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close public testimony then, and I'll take a motion, please.
Chair Crowell, I move to approve the consent docket.
Second.
So I've got a motion and a second for approval of docket items C1 and C2. Paulina, can you take roll call on that motion, please?
Allender,
Can't hear him. If he can give a thumbs up maybe or no?
okay.
He's on mute.
Okay. All right, I think he's got a thumbs up there.
I'm mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, aye.
Beasley,
Aye.
Crowell,
Aye.
Anders.
Aye.
Hasek.
Aye.
Hinch.
All right. Okay, thank you. It looks like the motion passes in 6-0. Let's go ahead and move with our regular agenda items, beginning with those that are looking to continue to a future date, please.
We have docket item 2. This is case CD-ROW 2023-7. This is a request to approve a vacation of public right-of-way of about 162 feet, generally located on the west side of Santa Fe Street between 11th Street and Union Avenue. This is a continuance request to March 19th without fee. Docket item 3, case CD-SUP 2024-6. This is a request to approve the renewal of a special use permit to allow for gasoline and fuel sales in District B3-2 on about 1.1 acres, generally located at East 27th Street and Prospect Avenue. This is a continuance without fee again to March 19th. Docket item 4, this is case CD-ROW 2023-45. This is a request to approve a vacation of public right-of-way of Walnut Street of about 30,000 square feet, generally located on Walnut Street between East 39th Street and East 40th Street. This is a continuance without fee to March 19th. Then docket item 5, case CD-CPC 2023-178. This is a request to approve a major amendment to an approved development plan to allow for a drive-through facility in the UR district, which is an urban redevelopment district, on about 1.5 acres, generally located at Northeast Vivian Road and North Chateau Trafficway. This is a continuance without fee to April 2nd. The docket says 19, but we request April 2nd. And then the last item being continued is docket item 6, case CD-CPC 2024-3. This is a request to approve a major amendment to a previously approved UR plan, the Union Hill UR plan, to allow for an additional principal use on about 0.12 acres, generally located at 408 East 31st Street. And this is a continuance request without fee to April 2nd. That concludes the continuances for
Okay.
today's agenda.
Any questions from the commissioners regarding continuance of docket items 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6?
I only have a question about number 3. We had a similar case come up last session with the gas station being approved or asking for continuance, I believe. Does anybody remember what the decision was that we?
So I think the question is, there's a moratorium on convenience fuel stations, and we've got a project here that's looking to renew their special use permit. Is that outside of the moratorium, or is it part of the moratorium?
We do believe that since this is a previously approved special use permit for a gas station, and they're just renewing this approved SUP, that they're allowed to be processed.
Okay, so we don't have to delay that one until August.
Yeah, as long as it's a renewal and it's not an expansion or, so it's just maintaining status quo, then it's exempt.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the commission?
No.
No.
Okay, all right, well, let's open it up for public testimony. If there's anybody out there that would like to speak regarding continuance of docket items 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, please come forward or raise your hand using the Zoom feature and you will be called upon.
No one has raised their hand on Zoom and no one has approached the microphone.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close public testimony then, and I'll take a motion, please.
Chair Crowell, I move to continue docket items 2, 3, 4, and 6 as stated in the docket, and to continue docket item 5 without fee to April 2nd.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second for continuance of those docket items as stated. Paulina, can you take roll call on the motion, please?
Allender,
Aye.
Beasley,
Aye.
Prow,
Aye.
Enders.
Aye.
Hasek.
Aye.
Hinch.
Aye.
All right, looks like the motion passes in 6-0 for continuance of those cases. With that, let's move back to docket item number 1, please.
So we have docket item number 1. This is case CD SUP 2023-53, a request to approve a special use permit for a 5,536 parking lot related to warehousing, wholesale, freight movement, outdoor use on about 26.9 acres, generally located south of USM 210 Highway and east of Birmingham Levy District Drive Road. Larissa Chomby is the staff planner associated with this case, and the applicant is in the room with us.
All right, thank you.
Right, good morning.
Good morning.
And Larissa Chomby, let me share my screen and we'll get started.
You make sure you speak in the microphone, please. Thank you.
All right, is that better? Okay, and as Anna previously stated, this is SUP 53, ignore that 7. This is for 14001 Northeast Missouri Highway 210. The subject property is located in the riverfront industrial area just south of the highway. Here's a close-up of the zoning surrounding the property. The subject property is zoned M1-5 and is surrounded to the north, east, and south with R80 districts. And then you can see there's just a slight portion zoned M1-5. Here's an aerial view of the property and showing the industrial uses just across the highway. The subject property is located within the 100 and 500-year floodplains, and so the applicant will be required to receive approval of any permits required, and those are included in the conditions as well. Here is a site plan of the property. I've highlighted the 500-year floodplain line and then the 100-year floodplain line, just to give you an idea of how far in it goes. The yellow line is the 500-year, and then the red line is a 100-year. So the applicant is proposing a 5,536 parking space parking lot to store new and ready-to-ship cars and trucks, tractor trailers, and that are part of a semi-truck operation, construction equipment, and some additional storage on the property. There are no proposed structures on the property. The vehicles will be driven to the property by multiple drivers throughout the day, and there will be a gate to ensure that the property is safe. The renters will provide their own security personnel and will provide inspections of the perimeter of the site every 30 minutes. And there will be approximately 2 to 3 security staff for the park. And you can see, and I'll try to point it out with my mouse, just outside the gate, there's 2 parking spaces for those security personnel to park. The property is surrounded on almost every side by R80 districts and is therefore required to provide landscaping in compliance with code. The applicant is providing compliant landscaping along the highway, which is the right-of-way. They are preserving a mature swath of trees just to the south. And this is an older landscape plan. They did submit a revised landscape plan that complies with code, but staff did not have time to review that. It was submitted yesterday. And one of the conditions was that that landscape plan be updated prior to BZA. So we will move forward with what was provided. The newest landscape plan does comply with code and will properly screen the use from the R80 districts surrounding it. Here is the existing vegetation that'll remain. Special use permits need to comply with the 5 criteria listed on the screen. Since the February 20th City Plan Commission hearing and now, the applicant has worked to ensure that the property does comply with all applicable standards of the Zoning and Development Code. There are 2 administrative adjustments required for the property. One of them is for the number of bicycle parking spaces. They would have to provide 500 spaces. However, since this is a parking lot with no staff, staff is okay with allowing an administrative adjustment for that removal or decrease in the parking space requirement. The second administrative adjustment is for the interior landscaping of the parking lot. There's none proposed, and so staff will need to review that prior to any grading site disturbance permits for this property. Here is a view from Highway 210. And this is just the direct view. The first view shows that access road that'll have that gate for security purposes. And with the changes proposed with the landscaping plan, staff is recommending approval with conditions. And I can answer any questions.
Okay, just my first question is 5,536 spaces, correct?
Yep.
On the site plan, it says 2,864. Is that just, is that like 2 phases or something? Then there's another spot, J, it says 2,866. I just want to reconcile.
Yep, it's 5,000. And I'll let the applicant go into that, but I can go into the plans that were provided to you to make sure
Okay,
it's correct.
sounds good. So any questions from the commissioners to city staff?
Yes, Commissioner Allender here. That's a lot of parking spots. Looks like it's nearly all impervious surface. So what are we doing with stormwater management at the site?
Okay. Maybe when we bring the applicant in, we can talk about that.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
More an educational question. When you show the 100 and 500 year floodplain and then the grading, the applicant submits grading for the site, is the applicant able to show how that affects the floodplain, or is that something that the applicant's not authorized or entrusted to do? Because I imagine those lines will change significantly, right?
I'll let the applicant address that. Yep.
Cool. Thanks.
Any other questions for city staff?
I have a
Commissioner-
question regarding a previous case before us that was also for parking of cars. Is that further west of the site?
Yes, that is
Yes.
further west.
Okay, thank you.
There's no more questions. Let's welcome the applicant then. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve Warger, 6127 Northwest Pine Ridge Circle, Parkville, Missouri. Engineer and owner on this project. I'll go through a few of the questions you've had. I'll double check the parking. I think it was the 5,000, and that's more just a graphical thing. Maximum, if you laid it out that way, we probably will never hit that number just because it won't be laid out particularly that way every time. But that was the maximum that we would have on the site. As far as the floodplain and the flood area, I think the last three conditions have to do with what they call a CLOMAR F, a conditional letter of map revision based on fill, and then we come back with a LOMAR F afterwards. That submittal was made to FEMA, and I actually got approval on the fill of the whole project site last week through FEMA. So we have that in we will go out to the boundaries that is shown in the overall project. It's just, we were going into like a phase one to use inside the 100 and 500 as it exists now, if I didn't get that right away. So that's how that's proceeding. The answer on the stormwater management, we are on the riverside of the levee. So detention is not necessary through Water Services Department or wouldn't be required. It doesn't make a lot of sense to detain on the riverside of the levee. So that's why there's no levee there. Just to give you a little more background too, our fill here is it's a 20-acre site, yes, but the floodplain section across there is probably well over 2,000 feet. So that little bit that we're filling is not going to affect anything on the flow, and we're not in the floodway. So it is permissible, and we have received that approval. So happy to answer any other questions.
I mean, even though it's on the riverside, can you kind of talk about how you plan to drain the site and where the water goes?
Yeah, we'll just drain off right into the fields the way it does now,
Kind of the south.
to the south and to the east both. There's a area there on the west that we're leaving alone. It's in there. I think a culvert comes through the highway at that point, but you got the levee there too, and it's been left alone. So we're leaving it alone, and we'll just expand to the west and south and let the water run off.
But you're expanding this is Commissioner Allender. You've got more impervious acres, right? Because of the car parking.
Correct.
And so is that going to affect any of the capacity to drain?
No, sir, because we're in the floodplain itself. We're on the riverside of the levee. And so there's no reason to detain that water.
So it's not going to affect neighbors or anything like that, adjacent
sir.
property?
No, sir.
Okay.
Kirk Rome from Casey Water is online. If you
Okay,
clarification from him.
Yeah, can we hear from KC Water? Just want to make sure they're okay.
okay. I didn't hear who you said is online.
Kirk.
Okay, Kirk Rome, yep. Hi, Kirk. Do you have a comment about stormwater?
Oh, and Travis Kiefer's online as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Kirk reviewed the water man, Luke Casper's on, Luke reviewed the storm plan on that, so Luke can address that.
Okay. Mr. Casper?
He's connected.
He must have stepped away for a minute, but
Okay,
yeah, as far as the drainage issue, yes, that with that being located where it is in proximity to the river, yes, there was no detention requirement on that, so.
So is there no ditch needed or anything like that?
No, ma'am. We're above everything, so it's going to come down.
yep. Okay. Any other questions from the commission to the applicant?
What's the timeline on doing this?
There's equipment on the site today. And I do have a site disturbance permit and private grading and parking lot approvals.
Okay, and this is mainly just to store cars that come out of the Ford plant.
Currently Ford plant because they're in dire need for them, but in the future, there would probably be some overflow from across the street with the other industrial as far as people storing semis and outfitters and that type of thing that would need that.
Okay,
Is the security going to be 24 hours a day?
24/7, yes.
How tall is the gate height? Will somebody be able to see what's going on?
Yes, it's a 8-foot chain link fence with the vinyl fence as far as that goes per the code for the landscaping. No barbed wire. We're not allowed to have the barbed wire on there. We will have guardrail on the inside of the fence between the cars and the fence. And there will be only one gate, and the security cars will park there at the gate and monitor. What they do is they monitor who goes in and out. And if they get their signature and they sign in and sign out and they know what's going on. There's perimeter lighting, and they walk the perimeter or drive the perimeter, whichever one they can, every 30 minutes or so to try and keep down on the theft.
I appreciate hearing the lighting. I was getting ready to ask that question. So I know that was one of the topics on the lot to the west. What requirements do we have in place for lighting for that site?
There's a sheet in the plans there, but it's perimeter lighting that would be shielded from going or spilling over the property line.
Okay, thank you.
all right. Any other questions from the commission to the applicant? All right, seeing none, let's go ahead and open it up for any public testimony. If there's anybody out there that would like to speak regarding docket item number 1, please come forward or raise your hand using the Zoom feature and you will be called upon.
No one's raised their hand on Zoom and no one approaches the microphone.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and close public testimony then. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we'll close testimony and speak amongst the commission. If there's nothing to discuss, I'll take a motion, please.
Chair Crowley, move to approve docket item number 1 with conditions.
Can you add the condition to reconcile the number of parking spaces on the site plan?
Yep. Chair Crowley, move to approve docket item number 1 with conditions, adding a condition that the actual number of parking spots intended for this site be reflected on the site plan
Prior to
Second.
BZA.
prior to BZA.
Second.
Okay. So I've got a motion and a second for approval of docket item number 1 with conditions stated, adding the reconciliation of the parking spaces before BZA. Paulina, can you take a roll call on that motion, please?
Allender,
Aye.
Beasley,
Aye.
Prow,
Aye.
Anders.
Aye.
Hasek,
Aye.
Lynch.
Aye.
All right, looks like the motion passes 6-0. So thank you for bringing it in. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right. Looks like we're kind of done with our docketed items. Now let's move to docket item 7 for an update on some projects, please.
So the first update that we're going to discuss is case CD-CPC 2023-171. This was a PIEA, tax plan that was reviewed for an area in downtown, roughly 100 East 20th Street. The CPC recommended denial on that item. The city council did approve it.
This was the Port Authority's project, right? They were the applicant? Or no, it wasn't the Port Authority. It was,
No,
This is
Andy's not here.
that building next to City Club.
yeah, I'm trying to remember who the applicant.
It was, I don't remember his name. I do apologize. But it was the
Wasn't-
former farm to market
Yeah.
bread building.
And then was it a unanimous decision to, gotcha, discussion? Just curious. Cool.
Yeah, I can't explain or provide detail about the reasoning for that vote.
Cool. All right, good to know.
Okay.
The next item, CD-CPC 2023-151. This was a major amendment to a previously approved master plan development plan. As previously discussed, for a parking lot for the storage of vehicles for Ford. This one was roughly 3,169. The City Planning Commission recommended denial, and the City Council, they did approve that one. Some more details I can provide from the MPD discussion, that a sidewalk was removed from that plan, and then a trail easement was added.
So Commissioner Beasley, this is the one you asked about a little bit ago. That's west of the one that we just approved. So we had denied it, but council reversed that decision and approved it.
Isn't this also the one that had residents around the perimeter?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the north side of 210 Highway, just west of Searcy Creek Parkway.
Okay.
Then the next update, the last update, CD-CPC 2023-164. This was a project plan related to a retail sales use. Berry Road and Green Hills Road, the CPC recommended denial, and the applicant has appealed that decision, and it will be before BZA next week.
Okay.
Can I go back to the previous one?
Sure.
Yes.
So council approved that one, so they approved it as it was submitted, because we had questions on the screening and lighting on that one.
Yeah, changes that they made during the NPD discussion was removing a sidewalk and adding a trails easement. Larissa Chomby was the staff planner on this, and she could add any more details.
The trail easement was added along the eastern side of the property, and then the sidewalk along the west was removed.
But I think our biggest concern was the spillover of lighting and
And-
the buffering from the residents. Was that already in the plan? We just wanted to make some improvements to what was there.
And they updated their lights to make them shorter, but I can't remember the buffering for the property to the north. They did move the parking a little further south to provide more of a buffer, but I'm not sure if they added a fence or I don't remember.
Just trying to get a handle of what they were looking at that they approved over our recommendations, or if they made any requirements before they approved it is what I was trying to figure out. Okay, thank you.
I'm not familiar with this project. I don't know if this was one before me or I'm just not recalling this one. But I am a little curious. You said they removed the sidewalk and added a trail easement, is that just the easement, not the trail itself? Or does that include both?
Just the easement.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. All right, we appreciate the update. Anything else to bring before the commission? I've got one thing. Attendance at the next meeting. So I will not be here at the next meeting on
Well,
the,
doggone it.
yeah, well, you coming in person?
I was planning on it, yes.
Okay. Well, I won't be here. I won't be in town. So,
Okay,
but then the meeting after is, April, was it 5th, 4th?
second,
Oh, is that the vote day?
yes.
Yes.
Or is anybody from the commission planning to be out, to work the polls?
Yes,
Just want to make sure we have a quorum. I mean, now we're fully staffed. With 8, we need at least 4 to have a quorum.
I won't be in attendance.
Okay. How about you, Commissioner Allender?
I'd have to look at my calendar,
Okay,
but it's a Tuesday, should be good.
okay, perfect.
I'll be here.
You'll be here, okay. I'll be here. So we will have a quorum then on that first April meeting, it sounds like. All right. Anything else
From city.
need to talk about? Nothing on the end down there, okay. All right, motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
This is like the quickest meeting ever. I
It
think 40
is.
minutes.
Oh,
Uh,
my. Oh, my.
Okay,
Okay, everybody enjoy the good weather before it starts
all
raining.
right. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Bruce.
Holding
Yeah.
next session with you out or?
Good to hear you.
April 2nd?
No, no,
Good to
we'll-
be
we'll
back.
still have the
Good to be
session.
back.
We'll keep the-
Hopefully I'll see you next time.
Over the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. She's vice. Got it.
Yeah, if not, then I'd probably have Tyler do it.
Okay.
That seems like a lot.